Okay, guys. So let's see if this works. I have honestly no idea if I'm actually broadcasting right now. This is my first time doing one of these a quick little hop-ons. So this it is. It is on. Sweet. So we'll give everybody a couple of minutes to hop in here. Pop, I think Google does hate me. I think it's true. You're on the other chat though, so you may not be able to see this yet. Pop, I think Google does. Sorry, I'm just typing. Sorry, this is as I said, this is my first time doing a live stream without doing. Normally, like when we do, and I've got other people with me, and so we use Google Hangouts. So, using Google Hangouts is way easier than this one because I've got to use a separate software to be able to stream. Apparently, so I always got to make it as hard as possible. So I'll give everybody a little bit to get in here. I doubt we'll probably get too many, but you know what? Screw it. Let's go ahead and start talking. So, I just wanted to hop on really quick and talk a little bit about what's going on with Glock right now. So, for those of you who don't know, Border Patrol picked Glock as their main provider of their sidearms, and they selected, I don't remember how many models it was. I know it was 3 models. I don't remember which models. But one of those models was the Glock 47. So, from all accounts, from what we can say, because I don't believe Glock has officially announced it yet. I think that we're just all going by all of the different literature and stuff that we've seen. So it seems to be a Glock 19 or a Glock 45 frame. So it's the 17 length grip and the 19 length frame with a 17 slide on it. Now, here's kind of the cool thing about the 17 slide in this case is because it's a 19 length frame, the 17 slide technically has a long dust cover. I don't have a 17 with, actually I do have a 17. It's in the safe. So what that means is that there's the dust cover on the frame doesn't come all the way out to the edge of the slide. So that means that there's a little bit left down underneath. And the gun itself, the Glock 47, I think is silly. It's Glock 17. Let's be honest with ourselves. It's a Glock 17. They want to claim modularity because you can toss a 17 slide on it or a 19 slide on it. No, it's a Glock 17. It's got the exact same external dimensions. It's a Gen 5 17. The nifty part is that in addition to this essentially just being a Glock 17, what that extended dust cover does, is that allows Glock to now come up with the gun that a large number of consumers have been asking them to produce for quite a while now. And that would be the 19L, the long slide version of the 19. The issue has always been that with Glocks, because they don't extend that... let me grab the 17 really quick and I'll show you. And we're back. Okay, so generally speaking, this is actually Builder Shooter's 17, so don't tell him. Shh. So let me yank this apart really quick. So if you take a look on the end of a 17, it doesn't have a dust cover that comes down at all. So if you stick that on a 19 length frame, the frame only comes out to about here, and you get your bare recoil spring sitting in there. So obviously that's an issue. You get dirt ingress along with other problems. The springs tend to bind up down between the frame and the slide, and it just, in general, it doesn't work very well. So what they did was they extended a dust cover down there to cover up that gap that's going to be on the Glock 47. Now, I think the Glock 47, I don't necessarily think that that was what they had in mind when they were developing this change on the 17 slide. And I think they probably should have made this change on the 17 slide when they shifted to the Gen 5 guns. I think that should have just been a change of the Gen 5 guns, is that the Glock 17 slide now has an extended dust cover underneath the main portion of the slide. And I think they should have done that for two different reasons. One is to make all, well, actually, the two reasons are related. One is to make all of the slides identical along the entire length of slide for the 17, the 23, along all of the small frame full size guns. And what that would do is that would reduce the cost for them. Obviously, Glock plays the cost game a lot. They try as hard as they can to get their guns down in price. Their guns are not expensive to manufacture. Therefore, they're not a good deal for us, but it does give them the option to be able to drop their prices for like military contracts and stuff. But essentially, I think what Glock's entire thing was, they were, sorry, I got to fix the focus on my camera a little bit here. They were developing that for something else. I don't think that their primary goal was to design the Glock 47. I think their primary goal was to design the Glock 19L, and the 47 is just a way that they can get that slide into another gun to reduce the cost of that slide, in addition to using the 45 frame on the 47 increases the places where that frame is used, increases the volume, reduces the overall cost. For those of you who don't do manufacturing much, the more you make of something, the less it costs per piece. Now, that only really affects you if you're talking about thousands to the hundreds of thousands, but we may very well be talking those. Well, we are talking those volumes, especially with this contract that they've got. You're going to be seeing a lot of these coming out. I don't know exactly what the price of the contract was for, but it is essentially, I mean, it's a mainstream contract. It's going to be big. They're going to make a lot of them. And with that should reduce the price of those slides so that they would come out with, hopefully, this 19L. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying that, well, you could just buy the 47 and pull the slide off and put that on a 19. You could, but I really think it's a bad move from Glock to force the consumers to buy another gun to make the gun that they actually want. So right now, CZ has that compatibility with a full size and a compact, making the ability to create the semi-compact, which is their naming culture for it. And they do have that model. It's the P10F or P10SF. No, SC. Sorry, the P10 SC, and it's for sale in Europe. It's not made it to the States yet, but I'd give it a year, maybe 2 years before it does make it to the States. But I think it would be insane of Glock to go to the effort of designing the 17 slide with the extended dust cover, of having that compatibility, and not coming out with the gun that consumers have been begging for at least 5 years now. I think maybe not 5 years. When did the 4-inch XDS come out? Was that about 4 years ago? 3 or 4 years ago? I mean, technically it's been a little bit longer than that, since Glock fans have been asking for it, but it's, it follows along that same concept. When you're concealing a gun, the slide is not the part that is difficult to conceal. An additional 1/2 inch of slide is not difficult to conceal. This is what's difficult to conceal. So you shrink that down, you give yourself a little bit more sight radius, a little bit better recoil management with the bigger, heavier slide. And to me, the 19L seems like a, hit it out of the ballpark type of a thing. But, so I that's kind of where I think the 47 came in. I think that Glock they've been working on, I hope so. Now, mind you, for those of you who aren't used to my channel, I am not a Glock guy. I'm not a Glock tard. I only have a couple of them, and I respect them. I know what they are. I know what they can do, but they're not my favorite guns. But I'm hopefully giving Glock the credit they deserve here, and hoping that that what their action here was to produce the 19L, and that the 47 is just coming out because it met the loose definition around modular. Because most of the time when people are talking about modular, hey Kathleen, how's it going? Most of the time when people are talking modular nowadays, they're talking like P320 modular with the SIG and being able to pull chassis out and flop those around. This basically just allows you to run either a full-size slide or a compact slide. It is live, Kathleen. Hey, Big Johnson, how's it going? Um, and so it gives you that ability, but you still have to have you have to buy a slide essentially. Then, so you're buying a 19 slide to put on this full-size frame. Just buy a 48 or a 45. Just buy a 45 in that case. I don't understand why the modularity would be such a goal for this. And because I don't understand that, I feel like it would be a silly way for Glock to go to specifically make a gun that's essentially a Glock 40 or a Glock 17. Because that's all this thing is. It's a Glock 17. It's when you buy a 47, unless you spend extra money to get another slide or to get, or you already have a 19 or something, you're buying a Glock 17. It fit, form, and function. It's a Glock 17, except it probably won't fit as well in your holsters. That's more or less it. But I really think that they were going down a different path, and they're trying to reduce their cost on some of these other guns because, again, that's Glock's main goal: reduce cost. And I am inside a black hole. This is always my background. What are you talking about? Like it's always black back there. I'm not sure. But and actually no, apparently this is not what Glocks look like. Professor, how's it going? He says Glock 47 equals gasting money grab. You're absolutely right. It's a way for Glock to pull in money, and it's a way for them to reduce the cost of the guns that they're putting out. And I mean, Glock, they're about the money. Every gun company, let's not lie to ourselves. Every gun company is about money. They will screw over the consumer if they can. And in this case, they're going to convince you that this thing is not a Glock 17 and that it's some awesome new thing. And they're going to, try to get you to sell them. Now, the good part is, for those of you who apparently want, because there are apparently people that want this thing. For those of you who do want these things, it's going to drive the prices down for Glock for the components for the 48 or the 45. Dang it. I don't know why I keep getting the 48 and the 45 stuck in my head, but for the 45 and the 19L. It's going to drive the prices down on those, which is going to make those firearms more profitable for Glock. Both of those, by the way, make way more sense than the Glock 47 to me. I knocked the 19L or the 19X when it first came out. I still think that's silly. I understand why, but I still think it is. The 45, on the other hand, like, I don't like it. It's not for me, but I understand the purpose. I understand the role that the 45 fills. But CZs are spirit guns. Holy, yeah. But, generally speaking, that's my thoughts on it. I think that, I hope that their goal is to come out with the 40 or the 19L, and that the 47 is just a byproduct of that, and them trying to reduce the cost of that. So, what are you guys thinking in the chat? What I know the majority of my viewers are CZ viewers, but the 47 came out today, and it was pretty much the talk of the town on most of the non-CZ forums, or as they're known now, the Taurus owners group. What do you guys think? Like, Professor says, in other news, Glock has reinvented the wheel, and it's totally different, even though it's not. Kathleen's waiting for the rotating barrel. I will second that. The rotating barrel system looks awesome. They really should bring it out to the U.S. I think that would sell like hotcakes. Pops Quest says, I'll buy the Glock 47X when it comes out. So essentially, you're going to get I guess that would be a 30, or no, X. See, the X's are the long. I'm so lost. Like I don't know how that's going to exist. CW Hunter says, so the 47 is a 17 slide with a 19 grip. No, I wish. And that's essentially the complaint that I have is the 47 is a 17 slide with a Glock with a Glock 45 grip. So it's the 17 length grip, but it's the 19 length dust cover. So essentially, you have a half of an inch of slide hanging off the end of your frame, which essentially it is a 17. It's the exact same exterior dimensions and fit, form, and function of a 17. The thing is that you have the option of then putting a 19 slide on that, or you could put that slide on a 19 because you no longer have the dust cover gap. So that's where I think they were going. I think that they're going to come out, and I think it's going to be announced at NRAM. I think they're going to announce at NRAM that they're going to produce the 19L finally after years. All right, Big Johnson says Glock just wanted another patent model number to have in their stable. You're probably right. Kathleen says Glock just wanted another number to keep everyone confused. I think they're doing this shit on purpose. Sam says almost missed this. You didn't though. You're here. Hey, how's it going? Chad Old says they should do a Glock 19 and skip the 17 slide. Go straight for the 34 slide. You know what? I think that would be awesome. I would totally run a 34 slide on a 19 frame. I think that would be awesome to run. And honestly, I mean, maybe when they bring out the 19L, maybe it's not going to be the 19L. They seem slap happy with these new slides lately. So, maybe they're going to come out, maybe they're actually going to modify the frame of a 19 and give it the dust cover length of a 17 and call it the Glock 49. So, I really don't know. I think the only way I think they're going to be able to keep it a Glock 19L would be to run a stock 19 Gen 5 frame and then the 47 slide. That's what I think they're going to do. Let's see. Pops Quest says Glock's the most ancestral. Well, that got weird real quick. Kathleen, this feels like a math test. It does. All these damn numbers. Like, name your guns real names. That just drives me insane. See, Big Johnson, they should do a 33 round grip with a 17L slide length. I feel like that would be pretty heavy, I think. Dude. I don't know. I've actually never shot a Glock with a 33 round mag, and I feel a little bit saddened by that. I probably shouldn't because it's probably pointless unless you've got an 18, and I've never even seen an 18, so or not in real life. So I think that would be pointless. But I mean, come on, admit it. Who doesn't want to do a 33 round mag dump, even in semi-automatic, out of something? So, I'll toss that in my guns bucket list. But yeah, so that's all I had tonight, guys. I just wanted to hop on here and talk with you a little bit about where I think they're going and what I think kind of the underlying thing was of that. Get a PCC, says Pops. I actually really want, this is going to sound silly, I want a sub 2000. I don't like pistol caliber carbines. I am just, especially the ones that are designed in an AR footprint, if you're going to take up that much space, and this is just me in like real world application, if you're going to take up that much space, have a round that can actually really do the damage. I don't like taking up that much space and then having a 9mm popping at you. But I think the sub 2000 is a freaking cool little gun, and it takes Glock mags, and eventually I'll have one. I just haven't yet. Professor says Glock naming is like CZ sight dovetail. Oh my god, yes, it is. Glock's like, hey, we shifted this model slightly. New thingy. That's CZ and their damned sight dovetails. You are absolutely right. That is one of my top 2, maybe top 3 pet peeves from CZ. I may like them, but they ain't perfect. Kathleen. So they have a 19, a 17, a 26, a 43, a 45, a 47, XYZ. You are missing a bunch in there. Even along the lines of just 9mm, you're missing a few. So, Pops, that's kind of my idea. Like, the sub 2000 is It's relatively accurate. It's compact. I mean, they fold up. They run Glock mags, which is probably one of the most readily available magazines. They're in 9mm, which is one of the most readily available rounds. They take up less space than an AR style, unless you're running like a pistol or something. But in my opinion, if you're running anything, 10.5-inch barrel's okay. But if you're running like a 7-inch barrel out of an AR, like an AR style pistol with a pistol round, just get a gun, like a handgun, or bump it up to 11. And then if you bump it up to 11 or to a 10.5-inch, run a rifle round. Exactly. Fits in a book bag. Kathleen, I do not believe it can make a sandwich. I've never tried. I don't have one yet. So, I mean, I'll tell you what. When I get one, I will sit it in my kitchen, and I will even give it the best chance. I'll lay out the fixins, okay, and I will just leave it there, and I'll see if it will indeed make a sandwich, because sandwiches are great, and if it can make a sandwich, it's worth it. Sorry, I gotta fix my camera again because this thing is driving me insane. Hey, there we go. Nope, still fuzzy. There, I don't know why that thing goes out of focus, but it does ever so slowly all the time. All right, Big Johnson, just get a wrist rocket and some ball bearings. I actually, so way back in the day, way back when I did, I mean, I think every kid plays with slingshots and stuff, but I never had one of the cool ones with like the arm brace. So it was always like a normal one where you've got to like really have the wrist strength to do it. And I tell you, I sucked at that thing so bad. Where I grew up, it was awesome, but yeah, those suck. See ya, Pops Quest. Yeah, hopefully people hop on here and check it out, because I really think that's where they're going. And I mean, not to call Glock out too much or to beat him to the punch, but I have a feeling we're going to hear about a 19L at NRAM. And if we do, I'll be at the Glock booth and I'll have to play with it, because I get to go to NRAM because it's an hour from my house. You still have one? You know what? I would almost, if somebody were to send me one of those, I would almost absolutely request it sent to my FFL, and then I would go in and I would actually ask to sign a 4473 for it, just because I know the people at my local shop, and they would have a blast out of that. Apply Ballistics, if you're in town, hop over there, check out and see what they've got. Um, they are slacking. You're right, a-hole. I love people's names on here. A-hole. We had, well, I'm not going to say the guy the last time. It was awkward, but no, Kathleen, it's a Wednesday and it's random, and I hopped on here super late. I didn't even bother reaching out to him. I just figured I'd hop on here and give you guys a quick little spiel about where I think the 47's going, and I wanted to go ahead and get it out before, before Friday. So, no, I didn't. They're probably sleeping, actually. It's 11:13 here. No, I take that back. Humble's probably up. He lives in the next time zone over, so he may still be up. But no, they didn't ditch me. I was mean and just didn't contact them. I'm sure we'll be back next week with an official long live chat, but I figured tonight we could just do a little short forum. Hey, a-hole. Thank you for popping in. It's always fun to get new people in here. We, as I just said, we do live chats every other week. We did one last week, so we'll be in next Thursday. We usually start about 9:45, give or take 2 or 3 minutes, because we're lazy, and typically I get down and start setting up way too late for this. But yeah. Anybody else have anything in the chat before we cut this thing off? I know it was kind of a short one, but as I said, I just wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about the 47 and kind of what I think Glock's master plan is with that, and that I really don't think that was the primary goal of designing the slide that they designed. I really think the primary goal was to get the 19L out finally, and it better be. Um, Yeah, Kathleen, it's Wednesday. The Glock numbers throw me off too. They make me forget what day it is. They make me forget to, brush my hair and put on make. Oh, um, yeah. So, but yeah, that's kind of where I think it's gonna go. I think they're coming out with the 19 now. Let me here really quick. So for those of you who don't have Glocks, I figured I'd show you really quick the extended dust cover thing that I was talking about. So, okay, 17 slide. You can see that the end here, the spring perch, is unshielded. It doesn't have any metal going down this way. Here is a P10F slide, this full-size P10 slide. You can see that that spring perch is actually seated inside a shroud. And what that does is that makes it so that you can set this P10F slide on a P10C frame, which comes out to about here, and you don't get dirt ingress and spring bind on the frame. However, with the 17, because it doesn't have that shroud, you will get both dirt ingress and spring bind. So that's why that extension is on the slide. And again, I don't think that they were doing that to build the 47. I think they're doing that to build the 19. So, all right, guys. Well, with that, I am pretty much out of stuff. Just wanted to hop on here and talk to you guys really quick about it and see what your thoughts were. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. It was a quick one. Thanks to everybody who was in the chat and hopped on with me. Thanks to everybody who's watching afterwards. Appreciate every one of you. Until next time, do your research, get informed, and get to work.